car accelerates really smoothly. The suspension feels great, much smoother than a Model Y. Sort of expected. That's just the nature of being in a Cadillac, and you're spending less money, so you can't really complain.
That's pretty hard to dispute.
So this paddle, so you're saying instead of using the brake down there, I could use this?
Let me tell you how I use it. I'm not a big fan of, the regen. So I like it to be more normal. So if I'm in stop and go traffic, I leave my right foot where it should be, on or near the accelerator, and I can just stop the car with both my hands on the wheel. And just stop the car.
Real wood here.
Real wood up
real
there.
Wood here.
It's
vegan
not,
leather.
Yeah, it's not real leather.
I mean, everything here feels super premium.
It plays like real leather, if you ask me. It looks really good.
I'm just a fan of all these premium materials that you just don't get in a Tesla. Tesla's like, I would say it's on the cheaper side because it's just so simplistic. There's not much in it.
Nice soft touch material if you're...
I'm just in love with this screen too. Is it the same as the one on the Escalade?
It's a little bit different. It's on the same scheme, but it's a little different.
A map here and a map here, but why would you want two?
Well, maybe the back seat people want to see yours. I like that map. I use that map because I can keep my eyes out the windshield. I'm not looking over here. I can look down and see it, look down and see it.
For sure. Would you say most people prefer using the map over here versus the main screen?
I wouldn't say most people.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people have said that they like that.
Wow. Does this car come with like massage seats?
It does. Why don't you just grab that dial that I showed you above the seat adjustments, the little dial. Now just move it any direction. Okay. Can you feel anything happening in the seat?
I do. It's a lumbar support.
I'm surprised you're not. There's the graph right there.
Whoa.
So you get the lumbar adjustment and massage.
So when I hit this button, it activates a massage feature?
Yes.
Whoa. And I'm assuming this is like the... Is that like the strength of... I'll use a controller?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, it goes to 3. That's nice.
It's a little bit quicker.
And I see the seats are perforated, so I'm assuming they're cooled and heated?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, for 62, this car starts at 62,000?
Yeah, low to mid 60s, depending on whether all or two-wheel drive. Personally, now, ignore the fact that I've got this Cadillac badge on my shirt.
Yeah.
But personally, I think this is a lot of car for the money. I really do.
I mean, I agree with you. I think the Tesla Model Y starts at like 65, and I just feel like you get a lot more with this car. Premium materials. It has everything else the Model Y has. I feel like the aesthetics, I prefer the aesthetics on this car. And I mean, the build quality is going to be good because it's Cadillac.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a legacy automaker.
Sure. By the way, you got a little storage bin right here.
Yeah.
And some little fun fact.
That's a lot of storage in there.
It is. You do have a glove box. What they've decided to do, though, is that's the way we open it.
Wow.
With
a screen, for sure. And I think it's really cool, too, how you can just throw your phone in here in this little pocket and it charges. You have to put it in a certain orientation. Oh.
One advantage of this is if the valet who's got your car doesn't know that you have to go in the screen to open the glove box, he can't open it.
There you go. It's more safety, and boom, my phone's charging. And this is cool. I feel like a lot of chargers just take up a lot of room for no reason, like on GMC cars.
One of the best ones I've seen.
Yeah, you don't need it to be sitting like this.
No.
Like this is like perfectly fine.
And it's not going to fly across the camera.
There you go. It's not going to fly across. It doesn't take up room, and it's like easy to take in and out. Sure. So I really love that. Could you describe how the self-driving stuff works on this car?
Yeah, the controls are over here.
Perfect.
And it's inside here. Okay.
Whoa. Does this light up at all?
It does with a color.
Okay.
Like a color green. Let's go color red when, let's say, they detect that you're not looking out the windshield.
Okay.
If you're not looking out the windshield for a certain amount of time, it will warn you that Super Cruise will disengage unless you resume visualizing the driving environment or something like that. So, which I agree with.
Okay.
But like I said, it's available on freeways.
Basically like the Tesla one.
Yeah. But I talked to someone recently who drove one of these cars from the LA area to San Francisco. And she said she was able to use Super Cruise for 6 of the 7 hours she drove. Wow. All right, so foot on the brake, and you'll grab this stalk, and in one motion you do 2 things. Pull back and push down, and you're in drive. And you do the opposite for reverse. You pull back and push up.
I got you.
Okay.
I also noticed this. I mean, I guess this is like just a GMC thing, right?
I prefer the camera only because it shows me more of the road to the rear of me than
this is super cool.
And you can make your first left here.
Wow. I've been in the car for a few seconds and I can already just tell how smooth it is. Just like when you hit the gas pedal, just the way the car steers. It's really, really, really smooth.
Okay, I'd like you to take the middle lane. Are you game to drive the car on the freeway?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Just it'd be a short distance. Take a left and run the lane. Okay. We have 2 suspension settings. We have a little bit softer one, a nice composed one, then we have a sport.
Okay.
Personally, I notice there's not a huge difference between the 2. There is a difference, but not a huge
difference.
So what I'll do is I'll put you on that one first, and then we can try sport again later.
Perfect.
Now the regen braking is off. If you want it on, you can touch that button.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep it on.
Okay.
It's so quiet in here too. That's, I guess, a Cadillac thing, right?
You know, it's got to be. It's got to be because they have such a history of being that way.
Yeah.
We have a shade.
Oh yeah, there's a massive sunroof. I didn't even notice that.
Technically, it's not a sunroof because the glass doesn't move.
Yeah. So what do they call it?
It's just a sunshade.
Sunshade.
Yeah. You can do whatever you like with it.
Wow.
Alright, so after this left and after we clear the bus, actually we'll probably not be able to have to get in the right hand lane. I think we get enough time to get ahead of them.
Let's stay in the right lane.
We're going to go all the way to the far right hand lane. And go right on Colorado.
Awesome.
Yes. After you're right, you want to get in the far left hand lane as soon as you can.
Okay. So while the regen braking is super smooth, I'm assuming it's set to max?
Yes.
Okay.
So is that back camera always on that we see in the...
Yes.
Okay.
But I can adjust it by just doing this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the regen braking is super smooth on this. My Tesla, for example, it's way more rough. Like, if I take my foot off the accelerator, it'll just sort of like throw you forward just because it's a little too strong. Okay. And some people get sick from that. So I can already say this is a plus in just regards to that.
I've had some drivers who are very uncomfortable with it. I said, okay, we don't have to do it.
With this one?
Yeah.
Wow. It's just different. That's the problem.
But they're usually people who have never experienced it before. They've never driven an electric vehicle before.
I don't blame them. But it just makes a lot of sense. Like, I'd rather just charge the battery when I can, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then you don't wear down the brakes.
Absolutely.
But when it's done as smoothly as this, I really can't complain.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have went through a red light.
We should test the Cadillac horn. It sounds really good. I really like how it sounds.
For you folks on YouTube, this is typical LA drive.
It's pretty hard to go wrong with that.
And it's made in America, or it's an American car company. So
it's made in Tennessee.
There you go.
Assembled in Tennessee.
Assembled in Tennessee. Oh, again, the regen braking is just great. I did put my foot on the brake. Probably didn't need to, but
you know. Even though you got regen, obviously, if you're faced with a collision avoidance situation, you have to put your foot on the brake.
Of course. Well, that's interesting. I'm feeling the seat vibrating right now.
That's a warning that the car is saying, hey, you're getting kind of close to something.
Okay, cool.
Now that can be adjusted to an audible warning, if you like.
Okay.
And the sensitivity of both warnings can be adjusted.
Okay.
But GM kind of wanted us to keep it on the seat vibration.
Yeah, so it's definitely apparent that, I guess, if we're benchmarking this against a Tesla will accelerate a little faster, but you don't need that if you're in a Cadillac. You don't need that in general. It's still plenty fast.
We're going to take Sacramento 5. Well, I have somebody who's done amateur driving competition. That's not what you want on the street. You don't need it on the street.
Exactly, you don't. foot on the gas a little bit.
Sure.
Super smooth, super smooth. It's not like, I mean, again, gas cars have gotten good over time, but you know, gas cars have to shift through gears, and a lot of times, like, it might like buck a little bit, and I guess just the nature of an electric car, it's just
Essentially,
really
we have
smooth ride.
one gear.
One gear.
And we have what's kind of a slang term, instant torque. That's what battery
Absolutely.
motors give you. Instant,
Absolutely.
100% torque right away.
And so this car gets basically the same range as a Model Y, right?
A fully charged two-wheel drive LYRIQ is should get 312 miles.
312.
Yeah.
And I think a Tesla will get like 330, so it's not that far off.
No. Not a bad trade-off for a nice ride.
Absolutely not.
Okay, we'll have to merge over at least one lane.
Yeah.
Do you know the range for the all-wheel drive?
We don't know that yet. I haven't driven them, but you know, physics would tell you, since it's going to have more drive,
Right.
i.e. in the front, it's probably going to weigh more.
Right.
So it may not be 312. I don't know though. I can't give you a figure.
Gotcha.
I think this car is that big boy 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, right?
It's got. It actually has 12 separate batteries,
Whoa.
and it's in a tray where it would allow the Cadillac dealer to make a quick change.
Wow.
Should one of them fail.
Wow. That's different.
Yeah.
That's useful for sure. So it's interesting. It shows, like, I guess, is that the amount of power that the car is using? It shows in kilowatt?
Yes.
That's awesome. So right now I'm using 11, 16, 20, 25 kilowatt. That's interesting. If I push on it, boom, 50 kilowatt, 80 kilowatt. Sure. That's I guess it makes the transition easier for regular people who are used to seeing like RPMs.
Sure.
I just love how quiet it is in here.
Seat's still massaging.
I think.
Yes,
I feel like it is, yeah.
I can hear something.
Yeah.
It has a 19-speaker system made by a company called AKG.
Okay.
2 speakers in each.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's really cool.
Mini.
Can I pull in further down
Oh yeah.
so I can get one more acceleration?
Yeah, so you can watch it. Right?
Yeah. It's really, really, really smooth ride. How does the drive feel?
It feels good. It feels very comfortable, very smooth.
You say smoother than a Tesla?
I'd say, yeah, it feels a little bit smoother than a Tesla.
How does the steering feel?
Steering feels.
I mean, you have a Benz, so like, can you benchmark it against that?
I guess maybe it's a little more sensitive than a Benz,
Okay.
but overall pretty good. It's pretty good.
One little fun fact: this is secured by a magnet instead of a traditional latch.
Whoa. It's cool how they didn't try to integrate artificial like engine noises or sounds
Yeah, they did. Okay.
like Dodge did with the Challenger.
Adjusting the ambient lighting, you can do the upper, you can do the doors with this side and footwells with this side. So you just whatever color suits you. Nice. The ladies love that.
I bet.
For 62 grand, you can get plenty of ladies in this car. But it is interesting, like, let's say some of the Teslas, like the Model X, for example, you're spending $140K for a car and it doesn't have ambient lighting.
Here are some of the warranty figures. The 12 batteries I spoke of have an 8 and 100 warranty, meaning 8 years, 100,000 miles.
That's great.
The bumper-to-bumper warranty is 4 and 50.
You know, it's refreshing not to have to listen to a bunch of rattles and other stuff, which you tend to hear in Teslas because their build quality is not great.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
It's definitely getting better, but it's just refreshing.
This car seems to have like a vault solidity to it.
Right.
And the fit and finish is quite good. Well, I don't see any gaps
or anything. That's true. That is so true. Everything feels super premium back here. The seats are really nice.
This thing is a wheel.
That's it's like a surfing device.
What does park assist entail?
You'll see 4 graphs come up. Parallel left, parallel right. perpendicular left, perpendicular left. Right.
So it could pretty much park itself.
Right.
It could do parallel and it could do parking spaces.
By pressing.
Wow. That's cool. I'm sure it actually works. The Tesla one doesn't. So.
Okay, once again, we're in touring, and if the road was smoother, I'd give you sport so you can experience that. But the route we're going to take, you'll have a chance to do that.
Okay.
Does this car have air suspension?
I'm not sure how to describe the suspension. It is a form of the electromagnetic.
Oh, I know what you're talking
GM's
about.
electromagnetic suspension. But it's not the same as, say, what's in the Corvette, or has been in the Corvette for many years.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to put you in sport. And
Does it only change the... Oh, it definitely changes other things.
the acceleration is a little different.
Right, it does feel sporty.
And
So-
the steering, I think, is a little quicker.
Yeah, they're more sensitive.
I'll say from back here, the motor got a little louder. The car just, it felt sportier. You can feel the suspension's a little tighter.
Suspension is definitely firmer.
Yeah.
The regen braking is not as hard, I feel. Yeah, I just felt the seat vibrate, and there was a red light flashing here indicating that I should brake.
You know, you can adjust the sensitivity. It's probably, it's fairly sensitive.
This is a sharp turn. Let's see how it does a sharp turn.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll do fine. It's the steering wheel.
Notice how little body roll there was when we made you turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a car of this size with, very little body roll, it's pretty impressive.
You know, if you add that to the fact that it has such a smooth ride too, you don't usually see that.
That's true.
With minimal body roll in a very quiet, composed ride.
That's so true. Probably has to do with GM's suspension setup. They're electromagnetic.
That is a world-renowned suspension setup.
It is. They're bold for that because I guess the air suspension setup has been around for such a long time, and it's a very simple idea. And people are just sort of sticking to it or building off that. But I feel like GM just built their suspension from the ground up.
Let's try a quick acceleration.
Go for it. Oh. That's plenty fast.
Right, that was good.
Whoa.
Yes, I would say that if you can't get done what you need to get done with that acceleration, then you may be doing something wrong.
And it's not fair to benchmark against Tesla because Tesla's like unnecessarily fast.
It's almost like a different kind of car.
Yeah.
A different kind of EV.
Basically, for you guys watching, I'm sure people who are interested in the Tesla Model Y, and it's honestly, I think it's its main competitor, the Cadillac LYRIQ, are interested in seeing, what's a better bang for your buck. And in my opinion, I'm going to get straight to the point. I think the Cadillac is a much better car for the money, right? I think the only thing that Tesla really has over the Cadillac LYRIQ is the acceleration, right? The Cadillac LYRIQ, of course, it's an electric car. It's faster than most cars on the road, but it doesn't accelerate as hard as the Model Y, but you don't really need that, right? If you're in a Cadillac or you're interested in the brand, right, you care about comfort, which the car definitely has, premium materials everywhere, no rattles, great build quality, and you're saving a bit of money compared to the Model Y, right? This car starts at $62,000, whereas the Model Y starts at, I think, $65,000. And with the Cadillac LYRIQ, of course, you get the same level 2 or level 3 autonomous driving, which again works the same as Tesla's, except I hear you don't necessarily have to tap the wheel like you do on the Teslas frequently, because it has some sort of system where it's able to detect when your eyes are on the road and when it's not. Mind you, this car also comes with massaging seats, heated and cooled seats, and ambient lighting, which the Tesla lacks. And I think these things are really, really important when you're buying a car in this price range. Now, when the Tesla Model Y was 50 grand, I get it, right? It shouldn't necessarily come with all these features because it was relatively affordable, but now it's kind of pricey, I'm not gonna lie. And for the money, I will tell you guys, please consider the Cadillac. This is a car that I'm actually considering for myself. It's an SUV, right? It's very elegant. I think it looks really nice compared to the Model Y. It's different, and I applaud Cadillac for coming out with an electric car that competes with the Model Y very well. Now, if they do increase the price in the future, which they probably will, I don't know if I would necessarily consider it as much, because we know the Tesla Model Y is a great car overall. We know it's reliable. Yeah, the build quality is whatever, but for the price, and considering you do get that $7,500 tax break from the federal government, in addition to state incentives, it's a very, very, very affordable car. Very luxurious. Cadillac, you know how Cadillac do with their screens and the Escalades and all that kind of stuff. It's a very luxurious car. So guys, please consider the Cadillac. Trust me, I'm non-biased. I have a Tesla myself, and I can tell you that this car has a lot to offer for the money. Now, that's it for this video, guys. Of course, if you enjoyed it, let us know down in the comments. And if you didn't enjoy it, let us know too. I'll probably end up picking up a LYRIQ, if not a Cybertruck, sometime next year. And that's about it.